Down the field, the Lions team that will not yield. And when the blue and silver wave, you stand and cheer the brave. And win the game, with honor you will keep your fame. So down the field and gain a Lions victory.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to Sports Flow with BK and Speaks. This week we will be recapping the Detroit Lions victory over the Minnesota Vikings, 30-20.
Regular season finale, big win, baby.
Had to secure it after the way it went last week in Dallas. We had to come out, get this win, get the momentum heading into the playoffs, and we've secured that 3 seed, and we're taking on the LA Rams here on Sunday night. The return of Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, the script that, the NFL and a lot of people wanted to see, Stafford coming back to, where he got drafted from. And, his family's coming here. They have a great relationship with the city. So it's going to be interesting. I'm really excited to see how it plays out. And, I'm not mad about the storyline. I'm kind of intrigued myself.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch, hopefully.
Right?
I mean, it's cool to have him back in town. We'd like
is.
to do like a ceremony for him, but I mean, business is business.
Yeah.
We are searching for our first home playoff win in 32 years, and this is the first home playoff game we've had in 30 years. So forget about the swan song here for
no ill will.
Stafford.
Yeah, no ill will for Stafford. Love him, what he did for the city. Love what his family did. Love Kelly, but like you said, business is business. This is our first time being at a home playoff game. There's no time for, tributes to former players. We have a job to do. We got a task at hand. And I'm sorry, Stafford, you're on the opposing team now. So maybe next time you come, you can have a tribute.
Yeah, playoffs makes it a little different.
Yeah, it sure does. After the game, we can give you some love after we win. But before, no.
Not so much.
Yeah.
I agree. And something that does tick me off a little bit here is if the call goes right in Dallas last week, we would have ended up with the 1 seed and would have had a bye this weekend and home field throughout the entire NFC with the 49ers taking the loss to the Rams. Unfortunate, but, we are where we are, and we're ready to go this week.
Yeah, I mean, it is an unfortunate break, but we're not looking, behind. We're looking ahead, and the Rams are the next task, ahead. And we're gonna be coming out fighting with some fire and restoring the roar in the D-town, and that place is gonna be rocking.
Oh, it's gonna be crazy. The atmosphere is gonna be absolutely nuts. It's gonna definitely play an effect in this game. I mean, when we're looking at the offense and what they did this week, I mean, they were doing some good things. Passing the ball very efficiently. The running attack wasn't great.
No.
I mean, when we're talking about it, Gibbs and Montgomery only rushed for 70 yards. Mott had 40. Gibbs had 30, and it just wasn't very productive there, which was really out of the ordinary with the way we've played all year.
Yeah, both of them had a chance to get to 1,000 yards rushing. I believe Gibbs needed 85 or so to get to 1,000. Montgomery did eclipse the 1,000-yard mark with what he obtained on Sunday.
It was good to see.
It was good to see. We have another 1,000-yard back. I was really hoping they both would, but
Cool.
the game didn't play out that way, and they were, we just didn't need to run the ball too much. We needed some passing plays, and, Goff, he had a great game, no turnovers, 2 TDs, 320 yards. So he did exactly what we, needed him and wanted him to do going in this game.
Yeah, extremely productive and didn't turn over the ball.
Yeah.
Biggest factor there. St. Brown makes his job a lot easier.
Oh, gosh, does he ever.
St. Brown was just incredible this year. This week he racked in 7 receptions for 144 and a touchdown. Nothing out of the ordinary. On the season, he has 119 receptions, 1,515 yards, and 10 touchdowns. That's 3rd in the yards in the NFL for the entire season and 4th in the NFL for touchdown receptions.
Yeah, it's just crazy, man. He is a bona fide superstar, and for him to get snubbed being a Pro Bowler is just outrageous to me. I don't think anyone's ever had over 1,500 yards and 10 TDs and 119 receptions and not made the Pro Bowl. I honestly don't think it's ever happened. And it's really a tragedy to the NFL that he isn't a Pro Bowler. I don't understand it, but it pissed him off, and he said he was pissed, and he said he was going to run through some brick walls, and he did that on Sunday.
Yes, he did. And I mean, I don't understand it either. When you look at the stats alone, like I get that the fans get the vote or whatever the case is there, but when you're looking at the stats here, you're in a situation where St. Brown is third in the NFL in receiving yards and fourth in TD catches. It is an absolute snub to leave him out of this.
It's a tragedy. I've never seen someone produce week in, week out like he does. Mr. Consistency, rarely drops balls, blocks great, does all the little things right. It's a team player, and you get snubbed from the Pro Bowl. It's just, it is what it is. It's pissed him off. So it makes us play better and him better. So I'm not for him not making the Pro Bowl, but him playing and being more pissed off, I'm for that. So
chip on the shoulder.
Yeah. And that aspects of things, it's okay, but not really okay at all.
Yeah, I mean, you'd like to see that for him and be a good accomplishment.
Yeah.
Tough to see. I mean, you got to like what you saw to Laporta this weekend too.
In a short sample size
for the time that he played.
Yeah.
I mean, he racked in another touchdown. That gives him 10 touchdown receptions on the season, along with 86 receptions and 889 yards as well. But those 10 TDs are also tied with St. Brown for fourth in the NFL. Just insane production from a rookie here.
It is insane production. I mean, you just said that he tied St. Brown for fourth in the NFL with TD catches. That's outstanding. For both of them to be at 4 in all of the NFL is just crazy. And one of them didn't make the Pro Bowl, which is beyond messed up in my head.
Yeah, Pro Bowl is just a joke.
It is a joke, but the accolade would be nice. He deserves the accolade.
It would have been cool to see. I think one thing we do have to touch on here, though, man, is the Laporta injury.
Yeah, let's get into the injuries.
Heading into the playoffs here, I mean, this is tricky because you want to play the starters because there is something on the line. If Dallas loses, then we end up getting that 2 seed. So we're playing for something. But I mean, losing Laporta,
Laporta hurts.
Takes a knee injury in this game, hyperextended knee,
and it looked bad
with a bone bruise. Similar situation to what Kelsey had.
Very similar.
But I mean, you got to think it's going to at least slow him down this weekend, and we would love to have him.
Yeah, I mean, there's an outside chance he plays this week. I guess we'll see what happens. But going back to, injuries, playing players, sitting players, I'm all on board for playing players. I mean, it's football at the end of the day. I understand, this is the last, game heading into the playoffs, playoff implications. There was a chance we could get the 2 seed. It was an outside chance, but it's football at the end of the day. You go 17 weeks. Luckily, you didn't get hurt in those 17 weeks. You probably are bumped and bruised. It's gonna happen. It's just unfortunate that it happened to a star stud like Laporta. Khalif Raymond also got hurt.
Sounds like he's not going to go.
It sounds like he's not going to go. There's one other prevalent guy on our team that had an injury. I'll remember here in a little bit. Can't think of it off the top of my head right now. But I'm all for Campbell and the decision he made to play the players. I think it's, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer in that. Maybe take off the foot off the accelerator a little bit. And, when it gets to a certain score in the second half or a certain amount of reps, you start sitting those guys. But, Dan Campbell, MCDC don't run like that. He don't operate like that. Our team doesn't operate like that. All the players were on board. Goff said it. He said, we have a chance to get the 2 seed. I plan on playing the whole game. That's our mantra the whole season. So I'm not mad with the approach in the slightest. Just unfortunate with what happened with the injuries, and that's football.
Completely agree. I mean, I think there's something to be said about momentum too.
Yep.
You don't want to go 2 losses entering into the playoffs. You've got to get back on track. That's why you play the starters this week. It was very unfortunate what happened.
Yeah. And I think, we were precautionary in some instances with sitting JMO. With the illness and ankle injury, I think if that was a playoff game or a must-win game, he would have been in there. So I think we picked, who we wanted to play and who we didn't want to play. We got CD Deuce in there, got him some time. He had a good game, big interception, get his spirits back up. So, I think we picked and chose, and, unfortunately, injuries happen.
Yeah, and it's been the story for the Lions all season.
Yeah.
And we really haven't had the offense in full force. I think everybody was kind of looking forward to that, getting it back for the playoffs with Jamison Williams returning. That will be a nice piece to add from what we had this week.
Yeah.
But losing Laporta sucks because you would have the full arsenal coming at the Rams.
Besides St. Brown, he's Goff's security blanket. So it's just, he's what... I'm not making comparisons to Brady, to Goff, Gronk, to Laporta, but whenever, Goff needs, a catch on these third downs, if, St. Brown's covered, Laporta's his guy, and, not having him, if we don't have him, is going to be huge. But I also don't want to rush the guy back and, get into, him coming back too soon and potentially being a bigger injury than what it is. So I want to be careful with him. We have guys who are more than capable of coming up. Brock Wright, great tight end. And then Mitchell, I thought he had a good week this past week. So one of those two guys are more than capable of stepping up. It's not going to be the same production as Laporta, but they're more than able to get the job done for us.
I think you see a lot of Josh Reynolds this weekend too. Josh Reynolds is kind of a security blanket for Goff too,
and all year he has been,
and he'll be looking his way a lot in those circumstances. But we're going to need the defense to play well in order to win that game too. And I thought they played pretty well for the most part this week. They did give up a ton of passing yards to Mullins again, and they didn't really.
Been our MO all year, unfortunately.
Yeah, they didn't stop the run all that well either.
No, this has been our worst rushing attack too, stopping the run.
They're going to really need to clean it up.
Yeah,
it's one of those things you don't like to see happening before the playoffs here. But Hutch continues to be on an absolute tear.
My God, is he eating up at the right time, baby?
Yeah, 2 sacks again this week. The guy has been heating up at the right time. 5 sacks, 7 TFLs, 1 forced fumble, and 10 QB hits.
Yeah, in the last 2 games.
Yeah,
and Houston might be coming back, and Pascal's playing great. And what was huge is Ali McNeil coming back really opened up some stuff for Hutch.
Yeah, it's nice to have him back because you're getting a situation here where you're finally getting the pass rush on that other side. They can't all shift to Hutch's side. The pass rush is starting to fill out a little bit here, and the defense needs it to.
Yeah, and Hutch, everyone was kind of complaining, he's not having the sacks numbers that, he wanted to. He finished second to Micah Parsons in QB pressures this year. Only 2 behind him, 103 for Micah Parsons, Hutch 101. And then he's heating up, and he's obtaining the sacks later in the season, going into the playoff when it really counts. So, he's heating up at the right time, and I'm really excited to see how he folds it into the playoffs.
Yeah, we're going to need him to be there because we're going to have to pressure Stafford to get this win.
Yeah.
What I do love to see, too, is a rookie linebacker stepping up here and starting to play his best
Huge game.
Yeah, Jack Campbell was outstanding this weekend. He had 7 solo tackles, 5 assisted tackles, and a sack. It was the best football we've seen out of Jack all year.
Yeah, Jack Campbell is the first Lions rookie to produce 10 tackles and 1 sack a game since 1999. That's great for a rookie who's, getting more and more playing time too. And, he's making the most of it.
Yeah, you can tell the guy's football instincts are off the charts. He's always around the football. It's going to be fun to see him develop here. The secondary started to look a little better. They gave up the 400 passing yards, but the Vikings were trailing most of the game and primarily relying on that passing attack. But Chauncey Gardner-Johnson coming back, or Deuce coming back, did help give a little bit of a boost to the secondary.
It did.
And it looked like they were attacking a little bit better.
Yeah, anytime you have Gardner-Johnson in there, it's going to give a boost to our defense as a whole. He had the 1 interception, first game back. That's only going to improve his confidence that much more going into the next game.
Need that playmaker.
We need that playmaker. We need that ball hawking ability. And, when we're going up a guy like Justin Jefferson again, I don't look too much into us getting thrashed too much because he's thrashing everyone, man.
Yeah, going for 200 or 192 on us this weekend in a touch. That's half their yards.
Yeah, exactly. So, with that said, you ain't shutting down Jefferson. We don't have that lockdown corner on our team, unfortunately. So I think we're much improved, and I think we're only going to get that much more improved as guys start coming into the fold. Like, is James Houston going to return, bringing that pressure?
Man. They're saying he was practicing last week. If Houston's back, you get another pass rusher on that other side. Pascal's been playing pretty well, too, on that defensive line. This is starting to become a unit that might be a strength for the Lions.
Yeah, it really could be. So it's going to be exciting to see, who's playing going into next week. But we were getting healthy at the right time until last week, but we're still relatively healthy team going into playoffs, I'd say.
Yeah, other than the Laporta thing.
And Khalif Raymond.
And Khalif, but
he had his best game of the year.
And it sucks losing Khalif. He's so good on special teams. He's so good on so many different aspects. That's going to be a hard pill to swallow there.
It is.
Looking ahead to the matchup this week, it can't be more excited about it. The atmosphere is going to be absolutely insane, like you were talking about. Here's my take going into it. I think the offense needs to score in bunches to stay in this game, and the defense needs to clean it up. Them giving up those rushing yards to Ty Chandler this weekend. He got 69 yards on 12 carries. That concerns me a little bit because that's 5 yards a carry. Kyron Williams over in L.A. is a very good running back.
Damn good.
Yeah, we're going to need to shut him down in order to try to make this offense one-dimensional because facing Stafford is a concern too.
Yeah, anytime you go up against Stafford, who can throw from multiple positions with the football, back foot, front foot. He was Mahomes before there was a Mahomes before. So he can make all the throws. He makes every receiver better. Yeah. We've all seen it with him being on our team for years. I think, we obviously, we're going to need to score in bunches, like you said. I think it's going to be, either us scoring, them scoring. It's going to be going back and forth. I don't think they have a great stout defense this year. There's only one guy I honestly know on their defense who's even worth talking about, and that's, Donald. So, if we can score with them, don't turn the ball over, I think we'll be just fine.
I think when you're looking at it, too, it's do we have the ability to control the game?
Yeah.
Because that's going to be the big key here, too, that I'm looking at. The Lions are going to need to run the football. If they can run the football, control the clock, keep the ball out of this offense's hands, and come up with a couple turnovers or a couple of stops, we could be in business here for getting this first home playoff win.
Yeah, we definitely could be in business. I just hope it doesn't come down to a field goal because right now we don't have the consistency is awful. Hopefully we actually address this position in the offseason and maybe pay someone in free agency or draft a kicker because these guys are just so inconsistent.
It's a revolving door.
It's a revolving door of inconsistency, and that was the one thing we've had consistent my whole Lions fan base tenure. So
yeah.
Hey,
pretty nice.
MCDC Brad Holmes, can we get a kicker, please?
Yeah, we got to shore it up on the special teams aspect because if we lose by an extra point, I'm not going to be thrilled.
No, I will be pissed is all get out. So hopefully it doesn't come to that, but the main guys we really need to stop are Cooper Kupp and Nakua, man. Those dudes are just studs on the outside.
Oh, it's crazy. Their passing attack is going to get theirs. It's the fact for me that they have to stop Kyron Williams and they have to slow down Aaron Donald in the pass rush. If Donald is in Goff's face, we're going to have problems because Goff needs to set his feet to throw. We need Hutch to have another big game. I think Gardner Johnson has to steal one with a turnover somewhere in this game.
I agree.
And then I think Gibbs has to have a performance where he can be versatile in space, where you can get him out there. The Lions right now, when we're looking at the line, are 3-point favorites. The over-under set at 51.5. I got the Lions squeaking this one out 34-31. And the atmosphere of Ford Field will just be too much for them. And I think our running attack does just enough to pull it out.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. I think David Montgomery's going to have a big game. You mentioned Gibbs. We're going to have to win in the trenches, control the clock. On the offensive and defensive end, winning in the trenches, I think we're more incapable of doing that. I think we have a better offensive line. I think we have a better defensive line. So we'll see what happens there. If Laporta can play, I think that'd be a huge boost for us.
I don't think that's.
I don't think it's gonna happen either. So I already touched on Aleem McNeil. He needs to have another big game to open it up for Hutch like he did, and then we don't know about Houston yet, so we'll figure that out. But with all that said, I see it going back and forth early. I think, like I said, we score, they score, we score, they score. And then I think they start to slow down. The crowd, overwhelms them a little bit, and we pull away to a 35-21 victory.
Oh, really? You're thinking big. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think the Rams are as good as everyone thinks they are. They had a hot end of the season with a hot quarterback. Rookie, had a great year. But their defense, I don't think is very good. And with us being at home, it's not going to be a homecoming for Stafford.
No, I mean, I think it's going to be a very loud environment. I'm not sure it's going to be all that hostile with Stafford being into town.
Yeah.
But it's going to be very loud, and it's going to be difficult for the Rams to deal with. We got to look back at our preseason predictions.
Let's get into them, BK.
Since the season has come to a close.
Yeah.
And your boy BK over here ended up getting that record right with the 12-5 prediction. Lions come out 12-5. I had him win.
Congrats, my man.
I appreciate it. Sometimes, you get lucky. A blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. Every now and then. So that was cool. And then I also had the Lions winning the NFC North, and they did take care of that as well.
Hell yeah, man. I had us at 14-3, so I did not get the record right. I had the Seattle.
A bit optimistic, but that's cool.
Bit optimistic. For whatever reason in my head, I don't know why I thought this at the time. I had a sweep in the entire division, which never happens ever. So I don't know what I was thinking there, but I went with it. Seattle I got wrong. I got the second Chicago game wrong, and then I got that damn Green Bay game wrong when I was at the game at Thanksgiving. And then I also got the San Diego game wrong, which I do not know why I chose San Diego.
Well, but Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh, yeah. I can never get that right to this day. But yes, the Los Angeles Chargers. But, 14-3, 12-5, we were right there, and we both had them winning the NFC North. So we were both, both right there.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
No.
But that'll do it for this week's episode of Sports Flow with BK and Speaks. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.